My job interview experience. Hello, my name is Emma, and I'd like to tell you about my recent job interview. I have been looking for a new job for a few months. Last week, I had an interview for an office position at a well-known company. I was nervous but excited because it was a job I really wanted. Before the interview. The day before the interview, I prepared myself thoroughly. I researched the company online and read about its mission, values, and history. I also looked at their recent projects and clients. I wanted to understand their business well so I could talk about it confidently. Next, I prepared answers to common interview questions. I practiced talking about my previous work experience, my strengths, and why I wanted to work for this company. I also thought about what questions I could ask the interviewer. On the day of the interview, I woke up early. I made sure to dress professionally. I chose a smart suit and comfortable shoes. First impressions are important, so I wanted to look neat and confident. After checking my resume and portfolio one last time, I left for the interview. Arriving at the interview. The interview was scheduled for 10 a.m., and I arrived 15 minutes early. When I entered the building, I was greeted by the receptionist. She was friendly and asked me to wait in the lobby. I took a seat and reviewed my notes while waiting. Soon, a woman came out to meet me. She introduced herself as Sarah, the hiring manager. We exchanged a handshake, and she led me to a meeting room. The room was bright, with large windows and comfortable chairs. I felt a little more relaxed as we sat down. The interview begins. The interview started with some small talk. Sarah asked me how my morning had been and if I had found the office easily. I smiled and answered politely. Then, the real questions began. The first question was, "Can you tell me about yourself?" I expected this question, so I was ready. I began by explaining my background. I told Sarah that I had graduated from university with a degree in business administration. I then shared my work history, including my most recent position as an office manager. I highlighted my experience managing schedules, organizing meetings, and supporting various teams. Next, Sarah asked, "Why are you interested in working with us?" I explained that I admired the company's reputation and values. I had read about their commitment to innovation and teamwork, and I wanted to be part of that. I also mentioned that I was excited about the opportunity to contribute to their future projects. Discussing work experience. Then, she asked about my previous job. "Can you tell me about your most recent role?" she said. I explained that in my last job, I was responsible for managing the daily operations of the office. This included coordinating meetings, managing budgets, and handling communication between different departments. I talked about how I had improved the efficiency of our office by implementing new software that streamlined our work processes. Sarah seemed impressed and asked me to give an example of a challenge I had faced at work and how I solved it. I told her about a time when we had a tight deadline for an important project. The team was overwhelmed, and the project seemed impossible to finish on time. I stepped in to organize the workflow, assigned tasks based on each team member's strengths, and kept everyone updated on progress. Thanks to our teamwork, we delivered the project on time. Strengths and weaknesses. Next, she asked me the classic question, "What are your strengths?" I told her that I am highly organized, detail-oriented, and good at managing time. I also mentioned that I enjoy working as part of a team and that I am a quick learner. Then came the more difficult question. What is your biggest weakness? I knew this question would come, so I was prepared. I admitted that I sometimes find it hard to say no to additional tasks, which can lead to being overwhelmed. However, I quickly added that I've been working on setting better boundaries and prioritizing tasks to avoid burnout. Why this company? Another important question was, why do you want to leave your current job? I explained that I had enjoyed my previous role, but I was ready for a new challenge. I wanted to work for a company where I could grow professionally and take on more responsibility. I also said that I believed this position aligned perfectly with my career goals. Sarah asked how I handle pressure. I explained that I remain calm under pressure by staying organized and focusing on solutions. I told her that I'm used to managing multiple tasks and tight deadlines. Salary and career goals. After that, Sarah asked, "What are your salary expectations?" I had researched the average salary for this position, so I gave her a reasonable range. I said that I was open to discussion and that I was more interested in finding a job where I could grow and develop than focusing solely on salary. Finally, she asked, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" I answered that I see myself growing with the company, taking on more responsibility, and continuing to develop my skills. I expressed my interest in eventually moving into a leadership role. Wrapping up the interview. At the end of the interview, Sarah asked if I had any questions. I had prepared a few, so I asked about the company culture and what the next steps in the hiring process would be. Sarah explained that they had a collaborative and supportive work environment, which sounded perfect for me. She also mentioned that they would be in touch within the next week. After thanking Sarah for her time, we shook hands, and I left the meeting room. I felt relieved and proud of how I had handled the interview. The receptionist smiled at me as I walked out of the building. I thanked her as well and left, feeling optimistic. After the interview. When I got home, I sent a thank you email to Sarah. I thanked her for the opportunity and reiterated my interest in the position. Now, I am waiting for their response. Regardless of the outcome, I feel that I learned a lot from the experience and that I gave my best effort.